Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Today we're going to work on Triang Mukhaikapada Paschimottanasana. Probably the longest name in yoga. It means Trianga, 3 limbs, Mukha, facing, Ekapada, 1 foot or 1 leg, Paschimottanasana, which is our seated forward bend, literally translated intense stretch of the western side. So, if that's not a mouthful, we always start our forward folds from a Dandasana position. Remember that in Dandasana, you get to do the best part of all of yoga, which is grab your butt and move it backwards. So you literally sort of take your butt cheek, and pull it back so that your sits bones are rooted on the floor. What that does is sort of tilt your pelvis a little bit forward to give you a head start on your forward fold. Now, to come into this pose, if I were to name it, I would just name it Ardha Virasana, meaning half of my hero's pose, because in essence, that's what it is. So, bend one leg. I'm going to use my left leg because I'm still having issues with my right. And grab your ankle. So you see how close my foot is to my tush. You do want to make sure you come into this in a safe way, and super important that you come out in the safest possible way. So be sure to wait till the end so you do know how to come out of this safely. From here, just grabbing my ankle, I slide my foot backwards so the toenails are on the floor. So I've got all 5 toenails on the floor, top of my foot on the floor, and knees somewhere between hip distance and touching. So quite close together. Now, if you want a little bit more open, if you want to go a little deeper, just like we did in our Virasana, and if you don't really know Virasana well, check out my Virasana video. You can lean to the right, take your calf muscle, especially if you have a bigger calf muscle, and sort of pull it out of the way. This is going to allow your hip to go lower to the floor. Likewise, you can take the skin of your knee, just like we did in Virasana, and sort of lift it up towards you to extend from the bottom. Now, the tendency in this pose, hopefully for obvious reasons, is to sort of tip to the right. Okay? Why? Because this knee is bent and it's pushing me to the right. If you feel yourself getting light on your hip here, remember that in this pose, as with basically all of our forward folds, we're trying to get the hips even to the floor. So I start by pressing my hands down, and I sort of take my hips and scoot them towards the direction of the extended leg, in this case the right leg, just the tiniest amount. Okay, let's get crass. Mostly, I'm sort of opening my butt cheeks. Okay, I'm just taking a wider base. And this helps my hip to get heavy. Now notice I'm not sitting on my foot. The foot is hugging my hip. Like maybe a piece of paper, maybe not, could fit in there. Now, with my legs straight out in front, remember that the tendency is always going to be, if I were to just fold forward, to sort of fall to the inside a little bit. This goes with all my asymmetrical bends. Instead, I try to get my mid-chest in alignment with the middle of my thigh. So again, I lift and pull, and when I do that, I take my femur and essentially embed it into the hip joint. Okay? You notice how by pulling that back, my pelvis tilts a little bit more this way, which allows me now to square. What direction are the toes? Well, up. Now let me preempt really quickly that some people are going to say, oh, my butt's way up in the air. I'm going to put a block under there. Let me tell you why I don't suggest putting blocks under your butt in any straight leg forward fold. That is because when your hips are lifted, it will encourage hyperextension in the extended leg. So what I suggest instead is, if this doesn't work for you, revert to your Virasana. So Virasana would be the knees together and sitting right between your feet. Again, I have a video on this. But the beauty of Virasana is you can prop yourself up. So you can put blocks, blankets, anything you want underneath your buttocks in order to make the movement of the leg going backwards more accessible. Okay? So even though Virasana, I might argue, is harder because it's 2 legs instead of 1, it's scalable. So it can teach you to get into this. Okay, so here we go. My foot is to my tush. I grab my ankle, pull the foot backwards, so the top of the foot, all 10 toes are on the floor. I'll go ahead and move the calf muscle out of the way, lift the knee, and sort of lift and scoot, embedding the thigh. Now, because there's a strong tendency to lean right, what I recommend when you go forward, put one hand on either side of that front leg. So that as you walk yourself forward, both arms are helping me to stretch, to extend, but this arm, quite frankly, is stopping me from falling. Okay, so I can go as far out as I want, but I'm really putting energy into this front hand to try to keep me in a square position. Now, remember folks, every forward bend, can you finish the sentence, has an element of a back bend. So just like all of our poses, we're not looking to get our head down to our knee, but rather think about trying to get your head to your feet or your foot. It'd be really hard to get your head to both feet. You'd have to have an extraordinarily long and very oddly shaped head. Okay, so as I push forward or walk forward, I maintain the extension in my spine. Remember, extension is just a fancy word for back bend. And as I lean forward, I resist the urge to round down and rather walk, leading first with my stomach, then with my chest. Now, if you can get your stomach and your chest to your thigh and your arms don't really need to work to keep you centered. Okay, so again, if this hip is off the floor, you need to keep this right arm down. But if balance, I know it doesn't seem like much of a balance pose, but I've seen many people roll over on this one. If you can maintain the extension, arms go out, my right hand, so that's the one that correlates to my extended leg, presses out like this. Now I like to make a mudra, you don't have to, but making the mudra not only reminds me that everything is okay, but also my other hand won't slip off when I make a mudra. So there's always practical considerations. So with that squaring off, I reach forward with my right arm, so my palm is facing away from me. My left hand also is palm away. I grab my wrist and I pull. From there, I extend over that straight front leg. And if I could get my stomach and my chest to the leg, exactly like my actual Paschimottanasana, not this one, my Triang Mukhaikapada Paschimottanasana, just like that one, if I could get my stomach and my chest down, then I earn the right to drop my head. Notice that I'm putting my chin down rather than my forehead, because the forehead is going to encourage rounding and the chin will help to encourage extension. Of course, you want to hold this, just like every stretch, for a minimum of 5 deep Ujjayi breaths. Now, how do we come out? The safe way to come out of this, and we always want to keep ourselves safe, grab your left ankle with your left hand and keep your foot very close to your hip. You lift your knee up, taking your foot out in front of you, and then you're prepared to take that leg out, switch the other side, and boom. Can you say the name of this pose? Triang Mukhaikapada Paschimottanasana, 3-limbed, facing 1 foot in my intense stretch of the western side. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica. If you haven't been to my Venmo channel, make sure to check it out. I've got full-length classes there to help you build the flexibility, the strength, and the balance to do everything that I do on this YouTube channel. I hope to see you there, and I hope you have an awesome day.